did open a bank account while I was in Ghana, and I wanted to talk to you about my experience, my thoughts, the overall process. Hello guys, and welcome back to another vlog. I am Myssdarknluvly, and if you are new to my channel, welcome. Come on in. Today we're going to be talking about opening a bank account in Ghana. But of course, before I get into this video, please like, subscribe if you haven't already, and if you're sharing it, extra thumbs up. All right, so when we got to Ghana, initially I was kind of hesitant about opening a bank account because there's just really no need for it. And let me explain. Most people in Ghana use mobile money, or Momo. That's like a bank account on your phone. A lot of people don't have bank accounts. And the way mobile money pretty much works, if you're not aware, every phone number, you can register mobile money on it so that people can send you money through your phone. And that money can pretty much sit on there just like you would leave money in your bank account. You can send that money to other people if you need to, or you can go to a mobile money kiosk and go cash it out. Of course, there are fees involved with all aspects of dealing with mobile money. I had a phone in my name and I had the mobile money set up, so I would send myself money whenever I would need it. I rarely ever walked around with big wads of cash. I didn't take much cash to Ghana, and I just sent the money to myself, and it's pretty much instant. Unless the network is having issues, you pretty much get it, you know, in seconds. There was really no need for me to open a bank account, but I definitely wanted to know what the banking scene looked like, if it was of any benefit to me as a client. So I did decide eventually on which bank to go with after doing some research, and I wasn't worried about whether they were available outside of Accra because I am based in Accra. I plan to be based in Accra somewhere, and it's easier to access that bank. And they seem to have a lot of good reputation within the expat groups and those from the diaspora. So I went with them. I'm not going to disclose which bank I chose, but if you really want to know, you can reach out to me via Instagram or email, and I'm happy to share that with you. Anyway, as far as the documentation needed to open a bank account, I provided 2 passport photos, my ID, postal address, the Google digital address, as well as a utility bill. For the place that we were staying, it wasn't our property, so my name is not on the utility bill, but it was still acceptable. I went to the Water Company of Ghana and I got the statement, and that has, you know, the location of the house, and that's what I used. The application itself, it's on paper. While Ghana is a digital country, a lot of things are still pretty much done by paper, and this application was like a booklet. I remember when the lady gave it to me, I was like, what is all this? I was like, what is all this, like, you know? And as I started to flip through, the first couple of pages was just like a whole lot of, you know, kind of like a contract, like a whole lot of stuff to read and agreements and all of that. And of course, you have the section you fill out your information, your details. They have a section for you to fill in your income situation, where you get your money from, how often you're going to deposit, and all of that. And it was just like a couple pages of the same things. That's what it felt like to me when I was filling it out. Just like repetitive questions, same thing. There was an option to get checkbooks, but I didn't get it. I didn't need it. And I probably should have, because checkbooks, I guess, is what they use if you need to make a withdrawal. Because I think I remember one time I went in to make a large withdrawal and I couldn't, because the ATM, my limit was like only up to 2,000 Ghana cedis a day, and I needed to withdraw way more than that. So I needed to fill out a withdrawal form, and I just thought they would have withdrawal forms in the lobby to just fill out and, you know, withdraw the money. And she's like, well, do you have a checkbook? And I'm like, no, I don't. Don't you have withdrawal forms right here? And the withdrawal form that she gave me, she charged 5 cedis just to give me that. So I made a note of that. and I'll definitely make sure I get a checkbook in the future if I need it. But as far as fees, initial fees I was charged opening the account, they charged me 15 cedis to issue me a debit card. There was no minimum requirement for the account. Basically, what happened was I went in, I wanted to open a savings. I didn't need a check-in because I had no plans of actually using a card to access the account. I wasn't planning on buying stuff with a card at the store or nothing like that, because, you know, I went with my concept of what banking is like in the US here. And you can't help but compare and contrast, you know? So I initially was like, I don't need a checking account. I don't need anything with a debit card, especially when she told me they would charge a fee just to give me a debit card. So I was like, no, just give me a savings. I just want to put money in. If I need money, I'll come into the branch and come and get it. But of course, at the time, they didn't tell me that you need to have a checkbook so you can use your checks to withdraw money if you don't have a debit card. I didn't know because I never withdrew money. I just kept putting money in. So fast forward, she does, you know, I do my part. I fill out the paperwork. I give it to her. She's processing everything. And then she helped me set up my app on the phone and all of that, you know, so I can access my banking information. But then she comes out and issues me a card. And I was looking at her like, really? But, you know, it was one of those days I just didn't feel like addressing the whole thing. Like, didn't I just tell you I didn't want a debit card? I didn't want to do all of that. So I let it slide. I was like, whatever, just let it go. So of course, as I'm sitting there, I checked the deposit I had just made and noticed that they charged me 15 cedis for the card that she issued me that I clearly told her I didn't want. I have a feeling like she was just pretending she didn't hear me, you know, because she's trying to get business. She's trying to sell me this stuff. But I chose my battle that day and decided to let it slide. It's not a big deal. I made my initial deposit. I didn't put much in there, you know, because this was more like to kind of test out how the banking scene looks like. I'm not trying to have a lot of my money tied up in any bank in Ghana until I know what they're about. So just put a little bit in there just to see. And as the months went by, you know, the following month, I didn't see any other fees associated with the account. I didn't see anything for like 3 months. And then I finally decided to use my debit card for the first time. And after starting to use my debit card, I noticed they started charging my account 6 cedis and 50 pesos every month. So, you know, I asked them, and that's why, well, yeah, your account doesn't have a monthly fee, but because you use a debit card, that's why they charge us 6 cedis, 50 pesos fee. I was like, oh, okay. So the way I felt about the whole experience, maybe people in Ghana who bank with some of these banks, they know what the process is and the routine is. But I feel like I wasn't really kept in the loop about every detail. I kind of found out things along the way, and I didn't like that. That's the only thing I didn't like, because I'm used to kind of having everything up front. I like to know what I'm getting myself into, you know, and I try so hard to ask all the questions when I was there because it wasn't being put out. But I felt like I got, you know, the bare minimum. But yeah, in a nutshell, that's pretty much how my experience with opening a bank account went. The staff, everybody was okay. The lady that helped me, she was very nice, very pleasant. And that's always refreshing when I get that experience, because customer service in Ghana is not the best. I'm not about to sit here and lie to you. So whenever I get someone who's really customer oriented and very respectful, has that integrity and genuine, I just love it. I compliment them all the time, because that's what every business needs to grow. Not just, you know, being nice to get me in the door, but just maintaining that customer service over the time. But the experience was pleasant, and I felt I was okay. You know, I felt good about moving forward and actually opening the account. So except for the minor things that I kind of found out along the way, everything seemed to work out fine. The only things that I would share, and I don't know if this is every bank in Ghana, but I would like to think so. Before I left, I had switched phones. I needed to be able to install the app on my new phone. I installed it, but I couldn't get in because with their bank, apparently every time you switch phones, you need to go into the branch. They have to kind of do some stuff, reset your passwords and all this stuff for you to be able to access it on the new phone. So that was a bit of an inconvenience, having to go in just to do that, because, you know, here you don't do that. You put the app on your phone. As long as you have your login credentials, you're able to log in. So it was a bit of an inconvenience, but not, you know, it's not a big deal. I went in, did what I had to do. I don't really have nothing too negative to say about it. The process was just different, whereas, you know, if it was here, I'm sure everything would be done on the computer. You can even open for an account at home and everything. But, you know, with Ghana, everything's a little bit more manual, and that's understandable. So just expect the extra steps. And so far, the few times that I was having issues, you know, logging in or whatever, I was able to go into the branch and somebody was always able to help me. Other thing is, every time I went in, I needed to make sure I had my Ghana card. I remember one time it was something. Yeah, I think it was the whole logging in to a new phone situation. I went in and I had only my driver's license with me that day. And she was just like, no, you need to have your Ghana card. The last part of it that I do appreciate is that they do put interest on the account, which is nice. I wasn't expecting that, you know, because again, I try so hard to ask so many questions about the account itself, what it comes with, and she just kind of gave me the bare minimum. In a nutshell, opening a bank account, it was pretty straightforward. You know, when I did go in to inquire, they told me exactly what I needed. And I went home and I got everything and I brought it back. It's the actual application process that kind of felt, you know, tedious and extra. But once we got that out of the way, I had months to kind of monitor the account to see how things go. And one other thing that I do like about the account is that I was able to send money to other people straight from the account. So I can send money to people's mobile money from there. Of course, there's a fee associated with all of that. Ghana card is basically where they're shifting to. It's becoming the main source of identification accepted within the country. Your driver's license most of the time doesn't even mean anything. A Ghana card is what they're trying to focus on. So everybody in the country or anybody coming in that's going to be there, you know, looking to move or anything like that, you should definitely look into, you know, doing whatever you need to do to get the right documentation. Keep in mind, when you move to Ghana or you're in Ghana for any extended period of time and you're within Accra, it's easier to have access to a lot of things. A lot of things are much closer to you than it would be if you were living on the outskirts or in other parts of Ghana. So when you're making decisions on what services and companies and stuff like that to go with, keep that in mind. If you have any questions, leave me a comment below, and that's it. Thank you guys for watching this video. As always, be kind to yourself, be kind to others, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.